What's up, guys? Coach Brandon here. Now that we've figured out how many calories you need or what your budget is, we have to figure out how you're going to know if you're on track. Now, just how you would keep a budget financially to make sure that you're on track for the month or the year, whether you're running a business or in your personal finances, we need to track your spending in terms of calories or what you're eating on a daily basis to make sure that you're creating either that deficit, surplus, or even maintenance that you need. So technology is pretty awesome, and it's created a really simple way for us to track these calories. We'll talk about some alternative methods if this isn't for you, but I highly, highly recommend this. I have clients literally just track their food in this free app called Myfitnesspal, and they lose weight without even setting a calorie budget just because it's making them mindful about what they eat. So I highly encourage you to use this app, at least initially, to keep a conscious eye on how much you're eating and stay within that calorie budget. So I'm going to walk you through how to use this app and how it's going to help you stay on track with your calories. Again, the app's called MyFitnessPal. You can find it in the App Store. It's absolutely free to use. There is a premium version of it that allows a little bit more customization, but honestly, 99% of what you need is in the free version. So you can just grab that one to get started. And obviously, if you want a little bit more out of it, you can change it. So when you open the app, you're going to get this home screen here that's going to show you basically how many calories you're shooting for in the day, and I'm going to walk you through how to set that, as well as how many you have remaining. So you're always keeping that running total. Now, when it comes to using this app, there's a few different ways that you can integrate it into your daily habits. One way is each time you're about to eat or right after you eat, you're going to use the app to log what you've eaten or are about to eat. Good reason to use this practice is that it's going to keep you mindful in the moment of what you're eating. And if you have a few calories remaining, you can build out a meal and know what's going to be ahead of you as well, so you don't overeat for the day. If you're a little time crunched or you don't want to be at the dinner table like with the app out, totally understand. Another strategy is, especially if you're preparing your meals ahead of time, you can pull the app out in the morning or at the end of the day and log all your food in there. You just want to make sure that it's measured and accurate. Another thing to think about with this app is the accuracy of what you're putting in here. We're going to get through a conversation about the database in a little bit in terms of what foods to select, things like that. But you probably want to invest in a food scale and a set of measuring cups at home to make sure that the information that you're putting into here is precise as possible. Tracking food is good, but tracking food accurately is much better. You need those numbers actually to correspond to their real totals and calories and macronutrients in the real world. So I'm going to walk you through how to use the app. It's super, super simple. We're just going to go through setting your calories and your macronutrient goals, how to log food, and how to measure where you're at in terms of that process throughout the day. So this, again, is going to be your home screen that you're going to walk into right here and open up your profile. When you then open up the second screen here, it's going to take you to your goals and nutrition information that you modify. So you have the option to set your calories, your carbohydrates, your proteins, and your fats, which are your macronutrients. You're going to enter your budget that we set before there, and then you're going to set your macronutrient goals, your carbs, proteins, and fat to 40% carbs, 30% protein, and 30% fat, and just save that. And that's going to be your starting point. From there, you're going to come back to the main screen, and this is going to show that information that you had before. When you want to enter food, you're just going to click the blue plus sign, select food, and then select the meal that you want to add. And adding food is super simple. You can just type in the food. For example, here I'm just entering breakfast, so you're going to add some eggs. You're going to select the item that's most relevant that comes up, and then the serving, right? So you can just select how many eggs that you want within a particular serving as you go through. Save that, and then continue to add the other items as you go through the meal. You want to make sure that you're selecting the right quantity of the food, and that's why it becomes very important to have a food scale. Always remember, if the item says cooked, you would measure it after you've cooked the food. If it doesn't say cooked on the food, you would be measuring the food before you prepare it or before you cook it. That's a question that I often get from clients. So the selection process is pretty easy. It's very cool. A lot of restaurant foods are in here as well. So it's pretty easy to find major change as well as basic foods. And you can see as you're entering the meal, the total at the top is changing. So it's subtracting that from your goal as you go through. Now you can go back into the options section and you can look at your nutritional value for the day, and you can see how much of your budget you've used up to this point. You can also see the proportion of your macronutrients that you've gone through up to this point in the day as well. So it's pretty cool that it allows you to enter the food in real time, as well as track where you are in comparison to your budget. The other cool thing about this is that there's a barcode scanner feature. So if you don't want to manually enter the food, you can click the barcode scanner and actually scan your foods. And there's a beta tested version now of actually just taking a photo of your food and it guessing what it's looking at a picture of. You're still going to have to measure the volume or quantity of your food to be accurate there, but that's a great option as well. So this is a super simple to use tool. Your first step when you get in there is going to be to enter your calorie budget, right? So you're going to go to that more section, hit goals, and you're going to put in your calorie budget and then set your macronutrients to 40%, 30%, 30%. So 40 carbs, 30 fat, 30 protein as well. And then you're just going to get to entering food for the day. So I highly suggest that like the minute this video ends, you hop in, download Myfitnesspal, and just start entering things you've eaten today to play around with it like that. So as soon as we're done here, download the app, get acquainted with it. This is going to be a very, very important tool to help you stay on track with your budget throughout the time. We can't manage what we don't measure. So we have to keep on top of the things that we're putting into our body by using this system. Now, if you're completely technology averse and you don't want to do anything with this, I understand, although I still highly encourage you to give it a shot. It's a lot easier than you might think. Other options for keeping accountability on your food are a handwritten journal, or you can type in your notes exactly what you've eaten and the quantities, or very simply taking a picture of each meal can make you mindful of what you're eating. It's going to be more challenging to keep track of the total amount of calories. It's not as precise, but that is another form of food tracking as well. But again, not to be a broken record, I highly encourage you to try out Myfitnesspal, at least initially, because it's going to give you some really good data to make decisions.